Hello, hello. Thanks for choosing RC Truth Media. First thing I want to do is show you this video for those of you who haven't seen it. This is the recent Antifa sucker punch. Who's really fascist is what it says right here. And I want you to think about that. Fascism is basically when they use violence to get out what their message um, or to get people to think how they want them to think. Okay, and basically what Hitler did with the Nazis, and this is what Antifa is doing right now, using violence against people who disagree with them.
I don't see why you got a fucking problem. Because we fucking came across a goddamn street? Because I got a fucking car to get to? Because I got... There you go.
Oh, they just hit him and fucking sprayed him.
Anti-fascists pelting eggs, water bottles, and even firecrackers at the Patriot Prayers group. Portland police making several arrests.
Antifa is at it again. The group of leftist radicals fought fascism this time by sucker punching people and taking hammers to the windows of a Marine Corps office. I'm Anders Hagstrom, and these are the facts.
Yeah, that guy, like he says in here, this guy that he hit was actually a Democrat. Okay, so Antifa, which all of them are Democrats, basically. I don't know any of them, but all that I heard of is they're all Democrats. And so he goes and punches a Democrat just because he had an American flag on his shirt. He thought that the guy was a conservative, so he went and started problems with them, basically being violent to anybody who was at that conservative rally, which that is completely ridiculous. Not what America is all about at all, right? You're supposed to have freedom of speech. Let's go check about and freedom of thinking, freedom of thought. And if we can't have freedom of thought, you're attacked just because of your views. And it's not even it's political views. You're attacked because of your political views. Are you kidding me? They're totally. Let's go look at the definition of fascism. Often capitalized, a political philosophy, movement, or regime, such as the Fascist, that exalts nation and often race above the individual, and that stands for a centralized autocratic government headed by a dictator. Do we have a dictator? No. I believe we have a democracy and a republic. We have they say there's severe economic and social regimentation and forcible suppression of opposition. See, forcible suppression of opposition. That means they use force to attack people that are against them. And that's exactly what Antifa is doing. The supposedly anti-fascists are acting fascist. Okay? They are being the Nazis themselves, trying to use forcible suppression on their opposition. Now let's go and talk about who funds these people. Okay, the origins of Antifa. I found this from capitalresearch.org. While it's been proven that funders like Soros and the Democratic Party have paid protest organizers and some protesters, groups like the Violent Black Bloc. Black Bloc refers to a set of tactics, not a group. Typically aren't motivated by money, but instead come to protest because of their anti-American ideology, base criminal desires, and thrill-seeking. Nonetheless, the left-wing billionaire George Soros has ties to Antifa through a group called the Alliance for Global Justice. Soros' philanthropy, known at the time as the Open Society Institute, gave $100,000 to Alliance for Global Justice. Acting as a fiscal sponsor, Alliance for Global Justice gave $50,000 to Refuse Fascism, an unincorporated Antifa group. Fiscal sponsors are recognized, tax-exempt nonprofits that take in donations on behalf of unincorporated or small groups, so the donors can deduct the donations from their taxes, charging the group receiving the donation a process fee. Refuse Fascism was created in the weeks after Donald Trump's unexpected victory over Hillary Clinton. They're trying to do everything they can to get this president out of power and to sow chaos and division in the population. That's what they're doing. Okay, and people that aren't aware and do not go and dig for the information just believe anything they hear. And that's pretty much most of the people out there. There's a lot of naive people out there that just want to feed off drama. And these are the people that are going out and rioting, causing drama, wanting chaos and no government, okay? They just don't care. You've seen those people wearing the shirts that just basically say no government. What am I thinking of right now? Anarchy. Anarchy, right? That's these people that don't know much about government. They just don't like government and they want anarchy. Those are the people out there feeding into all this drama. Also, I found another article from Zero Hedge, and look what's going on. The United States is funding Ukraine, okay, and they're funding. Let's look at what this says. This is from Zero Hedge. Such important reality as shown in this picture below is virtually unpublishable in mainstream U.S. news media because U.S. news media need to deceive their public about the most important international realities, such as the U.S. imposed upon Ukraine a Nazi regime against Russia, and the U.S. now lies to accuse Russia for doing what Russia must do in order to protect itself from the U.S. Nazi regime next door. So yes, Ukraine is getting funded by United States, and they are acting like the Nazis. The article was headlined Israel is arming neo-Nazis in Ukraine. The article focuses upon Israel's strong support for the racist, fascist, or ideological Nazi government of Ukraine. Click onto it to see the documentation. It's Israel's Nazis against Russians, not against Jews, though they're allied with ones that are against both, which is why the U.S. did this, aiming to conquer ultimately Russia. Israel does this as part of the U.S.-led coalition in support of the current racist fascist government of Ukraine, which government was installed in a bloody coup that U.S. President Barack Obama started planning by no later than 2011 and started operationalizing on March 1st, 2013 and carried out in February 2014 under the cost of U.S. State Department and CIA-generated anti-corruption mass demonstration on Kyiv's Maidan Square, but some of whose U.S.-funded snipers have already gone public, though not in U.S. news media, describing how they were hired to do it and how they did it. How then can anybody believe the U.S. news media, which hide these clear realities? So basically, the picture you were seeing up there is the installed government of Ukraine by none other than Barack Obama, which installed a coup in no later than 2011 and started operating on March 1st, 2013 and was carried out in February 2014 under the cover of U.S. State Department and CIA-generated anti-corruption mass demonstration on Kyiv's Maidan Square. But some of whose U.S.-funded snipers have already gone public, though not in U.S. news media, describing how they were hired to do it and how they did it. How then can anybody believe the U.S. news media, which hide these clear realities instead of ever having reported them to duped American public? The U.S. government's anti-Russian sanctions and its NATO exercises with U.S. missiles and tanks on and near Russia's borders are based upon the U.S. government's lies, not upon the truths that this photo represents and which will here be explained. In U.S. news media, the overthrow and replacement of Ukraine's democratically elected government was the Maidan Revolution, or the 2014 Ukrainian Revolution, not Obama's coup in Ukraine. They lie blatantly, and they'll never be truthful about their having done it. Thus, George Friedman, the founder and owner of the private CIA firm Stratfor, called it the most blatant coup in history, but only when speaking to a Russian publication. And then when he got flack from the U.S. regime for having said it, he denied he had said it. The lies are that mandatory. The person at the center of this photo above is Andrei Beletsky, whose battalion is directly armed by U.S. taxpayers. He has publicly stated the battalions and his own ideologically as socialism, defined as negation of democracy, racism as being defined as against Semites, and the subhumans they use, and finally as being defined as affirmation of imperialism so as to create a third empire, a Ukrainian third Reich. And here are just a few excerpts from his ideological statement, which is listed from Hitler, but with Ukrainian replacing German. Well, I'll let you read the rest of this. As you could see, United States under Barack Obama was definitely becoming um, a dictatorship. He was an undercover dictator acting as a democracy. Okay, and he would go in and put in the terrorists and fund the terrorist groups secretly and use the CIA to do it, and definitely made our country a lot worse than it was. Okay, $10 trillion after Obama left office is what he racked up in the debt, the public debt. He just used all the public's money to go and kill many people that got killed in the Middle East, not to mention the U.S. soldiers that got killed too, causing so much drama that was unnecessary, all because he wanted power and authority and to rule the world. Thanks a lot for choosing the channel. Please like and subscribe. Hit that like button, gives me more views, and I will leave a link below if you would like to donate. You have a great day.